What's up? Welcome back to the shop. Got a pretty cool one for you here. Been working on proof of concept. So some of you may not know. Sorry about the weird light. I get the light right on my head for my joinery bench. Um, some of you might know, if you watch the channel, I have a bandsaw mill coming. Norwood HD36 version 2. And I've been working on ways of, I have multiple chainsaw grinders, obviously 9,000 ways, doing sharpening the way I do, professional sharpening the way I do, 9,000 ways to sharpen everything in the world. So I've been working on ways to be able to sharpen bandsaw bands with what I have. And originally I was thinking I was going to adapt my Oregon grinder. It's a 52110 to do bandsaw blades, and then I was going to have to jury rig a rest and a stop and so on and so forth. And I didn't think it really would be too big a deal, or take a cheapo grinder and adapt that over one or the other. But once upon a time, I bought a Foley Belsaw. My model is a 387. Here's the old thing from vintagemachinery.org. Thank you, Keith Rucker. I got that manual out of them. It's an older one. A friend of mine gave it to me, and I got it for sharpening hand saws because someday I knew I was going to have a dedicated saw shop to where I work on saws. And what I've been working on this afternoon is proof of concept for sharpening bandsaw blades. And this is what I've come up with, and I want to show you because I'm kind of excited about it actually. So here is, actually let me try and get you a good view. Here is the Foley Belsaw. Try to explain a couple things here while I'm at it, because I don't know. Nope, that's rotation. I need to get this thing to be, yeah, sure. I'm gonna get this thing to angle down. Let me get you straight on because it's better view. So here's the Foley Belsaw 387. What I did here, and I have a 4 TPI hardened blade on here now off of one of my small vertical bandsaws. But what I did here was I used this mount. This mount right here is for doing circular saw blades. I'm sorry. This is for doing circular saw blades, and this typically spun around backwards, and this cone fits into the arbor hole in the circular saw blade, and then you can adjust the angle and get it so that this will sharpen circular saw blades. Well, you won't do carbide without diamond file, so I had started sourcing triangle diamond files, which I have one in my hand right here. And I will source some more because not sure how long files will last doing hardened teeth on this. Apologize if my head's out of this, but you're going to be more interested in this. So what I have now is I made this little board here. I actually routed out the back, recessed it for the collar in here. I cut a kerf in it with a blade that's exactly the same size as this one that's on my bandsaw right now. Just a scrap that was sitting around on the floor. The vise here holds, get you in close. The vise right here pinches the blade. Maybe that's, you can't see the teeth. There you go. That's better. the vise right here pinches the blade and actually pinches it really tight. You can adjust it for how much tension you want on it. But when I run this thing, you're going to see, and it's doing a really good job right now. It's a little fiddly to set up, but once you get it set up, it does a great job on, and the reason I don't use it on hand saws much is it does a great job on even spaced teeth. I restore a lot of old hand saws, and on older hand saws, some of the tooth lines have been messed up over the years. So unless you get it back to a perfect tooth per inch count, this doesn't do a great job with that, because what it will do is it moves exactly the same amount every time. So if somebody has hand filed the hand saw, got the TPI spacing out a little bit, this can really mess up a hand saw. So I found that just filing hand saws by hand is actually better unless the hand saw is newer. So, but for this, with perfectly evenly spaced teeth, I thought this could work. Plus it's got this advanced pawl system here that advances it exactly the same amount every time. I've got it set so and I'll take you out of the mount in a few minutes after I run it and show you the tooth line. And it is getting it, you know, this was a wiped out blade, and it's getting it ridiculously sharp. But I'm going to go ahead and run it just so you can see it. I've got everything kind of dialed in here. As you can see, the groove in the wood holds this. I've got just a clamp on the back of this for out support on the back side of the blade, and I'm going to have to get you back a little bit here. I'm going to have to build outfeed. Foley did have one. They say this will do bandsaw blades, and they did have at one time an option that you could add to this that had outfeed wings on it with wheels on it to run the bandsaw blade around. I've been looking online. Yeah, you're going to want to see this anyway. You don't want to see my ugly face. I've been looking online for one, and I can't find one. So I'm going to have to make one, which doesn't seem like it'll be very hard. But I'm going to go ahead and run it so you can see what it's doing. I'll let you see it from a distance first, and then I'll move you in close so you can see where it's taking the teeth off. And then I'll take you out of the mount and show you the profile of the teeth and how good a job it's doing. It's set at the rake angle here. I actually had to set negative. This is how you set the edge of the file for saws. That'd be like rip saws and crosscut saws. A rip saw at 0, rip saw with say 8 degrees of rake, crosscut saw, and fairly adjustable. So I have it set perfectly to the rake of this blade, and let's go ahead and run it. I'll get you in close so you can see what's going on. So that's it running when it's set up. I am going to take you out of the mount. I don't mess this thing up. I don't want to have to redo this video. take you out of the mount really quick and see if I can get you in a little closer to show you. I apologize, I got the front-facing camera on right now, but see if I can get you in. Hopefully it's going to focus in here to see the hook angle. Sorry, I'm looking in from the side trying to, I hope this doesn't come out all blurry. All I'm doing, see if I can get my finger over there. All I'm taking off right now, I have it set so that it's, let me get you over here. Yeah, I can see my finger better here. So the only part that the file's hitting is the little straight part above the gullet right here at the rake angle. Hopefully that's going to focus good. It's taking off exactly the same amount off every tooth. And like I said, this was a really wasted blade. It hit something. The set's all messed up on it. But it's taking off exactly the same amount. Every one, I don't know that I'm ever going to be able to get you in to see the face of the teeth here, where you're going to be able to see it in the light. But it's just making a teeny little perfectly flat spot on the top of that tooth on the face. And I don't know, maybe it'll focus in on my finger, I'm not sure. Where's my camera? That's right there. But put you back in the tripod really quick. I'm going to scoot to the other side. I'll show you. So this right now, you can see it pulling off. It's a bad angle. So like this. Get you in here. You'll be able to see it like that. Hopefully you can see my thumbnail just falling like snow here. I don't know how it's going to show up on the camera, but it's nice and even. Every tooth is, oh yeah, you see that real good. See that just falling off there, see that? It's really prickly sharp. You can also, actually this is a good view, you can also readjust this at the angle of the top of this tooth and run it so that it just barely comes down and kisses across the top too, and run it around like that to take the burr off the top of the tooth as well. I don't know whether I'll do that because I just assume that when you go ahead and run this through the wood that that burr is going to be gone in about 10 seconds. But proof of concept wise, this works. So I don't know how much you guys know about a Foley, but this whole head swings left and right to do, you can put flame on the teeth, like on a crosscut handsaw. You can do flame. You have to run both sides on a handsaw. These, you file them all from one direction. You do have to set the teeth first, which I did not set this because I was just trying to see if it would do it. I didn't know how the file was going to act on the hardened teeth. And I can get this clamp, this vise, tight enough. I don't know if you can hear that on this blade, so that the file does a terrific job. I mean, way better than hand filing it. It holds this rock solid. You can't even move it in here. And so when it files, there's no screeching, there's no nothing. It's really doing a very efficient job. And this is not a new file. This file is the same exact file that was in this thing when I bought it. How long it's been in here, I don't know. It seems like it's still fairly sharp. I don't know if you can see it. Cut my fingernail right there, just running it across. I just left that white line on it. But, you know, this file is still fairly good. I don't know how long it would last, but I have plenty of new ones that I could replace, which, you know, I'm sure I will do when I put some, you know, my big bandsaw blades in here. So proof of concept wise, this board is slotted. It will drop down to do, you know, 1.5-inch blades. I will probably just end up keeping this plate right here for doing my bandsaw blades, and I'll probably make a new one for the Sawmill blades that are going to come with the HD36. So I was just kind of excited. I wanted to show you. And actually, if I run it around, let me get you in close. I'll show you how much is taken off, because I know some people are going to be interested in this. I did repair this machine. And that's okay. I'll run it by hand. So if you can see how it's just on the straight part before the gullet curves, and it stays right there as it runs across the tapered file. And you can see also that the tapered file, watch it, it'll push the tooth over as it's going, because it's got just a little bit of pressure to the right onto the tooth face. So and let's see here, maybe I can get you down, get you vertical here, drop you down, see if I can get you right at the height of that blade. See how that looks. That's going to focus there, but I don't know if you can see that I haven't cut into the gullet. Oh, it was my finger. There it is. Oh, you're looking at an angle here. So I haven't cut into the gullet. The edge is just straight up and down. Oh, well, at its rake angle, whatever it was. I'm not exactly sure what the rake angle was. I just matched it when I did the setup. And you can see how consistently they're filed across the face. Now, I would imagine that doing it this way is going to thin these teeth. So the top of these, let me get my finger here, the top of this tooth right here is going to get filed back. That tooth's going to get thinner. So without doing the entire gullet profile and bringing the top of this tooth down and bringing these gullets deeper, these teeth will change dimension and they will get smaller. But the way I have it right now, I could do easily, a couple of sharpenings on even a dinky blade like this. But as you can imagine, on a big, huge sawmill blade, you maybe could get a couple more before these teeth would become compromised by size. So that's what we got going on. Like I said, I'm pretty excited about the whole thing, and I wanted to share it here. Just waiting to not make noise for the wife. This is what the bench looks like. Got some blueprints that I did in details for an upcoming project. I just got prints back from the engineer. They took my prints and engineered me some engineered footings here that I have to use on this project around a pool. And that's going to be kicking off soon. You can see my magnifying headgear there. I've been looking at the teeth. Got my saw sets here. So my next project is going to be to try to come up with a way to set the teeth accurately. Now, if you can see in the background over there, my metal lathe, and maybe, I don't know if you can see it or not, but up here, it's measuring equipment, and then down on the shelves behind it over there is micrometers and everything. But I've got dial indicators and magnetic bases and the whole 9 yards. Plenty. All different kinds. I've got test indicators with mag bases, you know, mag base dials, test indicators with mag bases. I've got, you know, a ton of these dial indicators with mag bases. So I will be able to set up a setter, or I have the capability of measuring the setter. So whether I will do it by hand, you know, with a typical saw set, one of, you know, just take your pick, but whether I'll figure out which one works the best. These are all similar, but, you know, slightly different. Whether I'll do it with those or I'll make a saw setter, I'm not sure yet. There's a possibility that I will be able to come up with a way to mag mount dial indicators on here, maybe set it on here by hand. Just make sure that I'm setting it consistently. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to look up some DIY solutions for saw setters, and it's just a plain possibility I might buy one. I'm not sure yet, but that will be yet to come. So the mill should be here sometime in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be a whole new video series. I'm excited because I can sharpen my bandsaw blades for my bandsaw in the shop. I used to do it with a Dremel, and I made a ramp that the Dremel actually slid on that matched the top tooth angle, and I could do it right on the bandsaw. And so it set the Dremel at an angle, put a cutting wheel on it, set it all up. It had a hose clamp on it, and then when you slide it across, then it was right at the right angle, and you could just kiss the tooth and then move it and kiss the tooth and move it and kiss the tooth. This way I can rip through this. I could let it run 3 or 4 times, and it will just keep getting it sharper and sharper as it goes, because it moves the band exactly the same distance every single time. So as you take material off the face, it moves the band that exact same distance it did the time before from the face. So in theory, you could let this run around 2 or 3 times if the band was really damaged, and it would just take off the minimum amount every single time until, you know, all the damage was repaired. So that's where we're at. Want to get a video up. You know, thank you for supporting me and watching the channel. I know I haven't put a ton of content out lately, but this one's got me, pretty excited here. And when the mill shows up, I'll be putting it together. I'll shoot video of that. Definitely first cuts and few milling jobs after that. We'll be videoing like hell out there as we go down the process from being a sawyer with chainsaw mills out to 60 inches to, you know, I have 5 mill saws, setups up to 56 inches, over to a bandsaw mill that eventually become pretty much a production mill, fully hydraulic. Yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.